name's Rachel, and today I read another book because I saw people talking about it on TikTok, and I am curious to a fault. This book is Unhinged by Vera Valentine, which is a spicy door romance. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is not a joke, but if it was, it would be a knock-knock joke because it's a door. Now, to be clear, I am not shaming anybody for their spicy selections. This channel is very spice positive. I just can't look at doors the same anymore. Doorknobs have taken on a meaning that they previously did not have. But if knobs are your thing, I'm happy for you. Everybody has their thing when it comes to spicy toys, and honestly, everybody has their thing when it comes to books, and this book actually had some stuff that I didn't hate in it, which is surprising because again, it's a spicy door novella. Now, doors aren't my thing. You might still be looking for your thing, and if you are looking for your thing, my friends over at Bellesa and I are sending out free vibrators and free gift cards for vibrators to everybody who signs up to my giveaway down below. If you don't know, Bellesa is a by women company for all things sexuality. So erotica and porn and toys and also sex ed, which we are a big proponent of on this channel. Bellesa's mission is to empower everyone to embrace and celebrate and learn about their sexuality. They have a wide range of products so everyone can find something that works for them that they will love. If you're a beginner, you can check out the Demi one. Actually, this kind of looks like a doorknob, but it's really simple. It's a vibrator. It's got one button on it and it's incredibly flexible. It's not very fancy, but it's definitely fancier than a doorknob, and it gets the job done. It's perfect for beginners. So if you are scared of where to begin trying toys and you definitely don't want to try a doorknob, try the Demi wand instead. It's also super quiet, so nobody's gonna know. And there's no annoying patterns, which if you don't know about annoying patterns in vibrators and you don't want to know, try the Demi wand. They also sent me the Pebble, which is super cute. It's rose gold and pink, which is kind of my shit. The whole thing's a vibrator, but this has suction and vibration, which are controlled independently of each other. It's just two buttons. It's really simple and it's really ergonomic. And this is its charging case. It's USB. And also, nobody's gonna think that this is anything other than a makeup compact. Same with the Air Vibe, which is a little more fancy. It's a vibrator, it moves a lot, it's got G-spot stimulation and suction, and is silent but deadly. But if you are looking for a variety tool, and my personal favorite, this is the thumb. It has suction, this part thumps, and the whole thing is a vibrator. This is a toy that does it all. This is the one I tell my friends to get. Trust me when I tell you that I don't think you're gonna regret buying this. Bellesa toys are made for all bodies. They are also waterproof and USB rechargeable. They come in these charging cases that are very discreet. They are all made from quality silicone, and they hold charge a lot better than other brands that I have tried. Nobody likes when their toys die. And again, they are waterproof, which is great. You need to be cleaning your toys after each use. So cleaning these is not a problem. With Valentine's Day coming up, now is the perfect time to grab a toy, whether you are a beginner or a pro. They have a wide selection for everybody to grab the perfect Valentine's gift for yourself or someone else. And no, there are no doorknobs. You can get your free gift card or free vibe by clicking the link down below. Try something new that's not a doorknob. It's fun. And thank you so much to Bellesa for sponsoring today's video. Fun story, the doorknob in this book is actually not working solo. There is a vibrator at work here, but one of the things I will actually compliment this book on, that's right, I didn't hate this. I gave it a 2.5. I know, you're all shocked. So no, this isn't a book that I read so that it could end up on worst of the year and I can rant about it. This is actually like a fine book if you're just looking for some, well, unhinged erotica. The dedication says, this one's for the reader that declared in a Facebook group that she uses Control F to search for the word cock at the start of a story to make sure that she doesn't get tricked into reading a closed-door romance by mistake. Shine bright, you smutty diamond. The world needs more women like you. It's in here 14 times, by the way, which ain't half bad. It's not for a book that's only, I think, like 70 pages. It starts with a note from the author that says, content consideration, Unhinged is a paranormal romance story that involves a human woman getting it on with her front door, which later turns into a guy. This story contains doorknob insertion, voyeur of a bad guy watching the female main character, allusion to man-on-woman violence off page, woman killed after luring off page prior to story starting and is non-explicit, covert breaking and entering via a master key by the bad guy, secret underwear theft by the bad guy, deliberate food drugging, alcohol use, harassment via text, allusions to an orgy with unprotected sex, non-main character off page, gun violence on page, shooting, death on page, but the death is sort of retracted, wood putty use, sex toy use, condom use, working with police, talking with police, erotic humiliation that is very light, fetishistic enjoyment of commands, lubricant use, female domination with aftercare, male submission, aftercare is implied. If I've mentioned any content considerations you feel should be in this list, please let me know. The safety and comfort of my readers always takes precedence. I have nothing but respect for this author because that was very concise, very well done, and I deeply appreciate that they actually give a shit about about their readers. Something I'm going to be talking about this year is how certain authors decide that they don't like to put content warnings in the book because they feel they are spoilers, which I don't buy that you think that's a spoiler and that you don't think that your audience deserves the right to decide for themselves whether or not they want to be spoiled. I also don't love that certain men in the horror community are like, this book contains triggering content and if you can't handle triggering content, don't read it. Ah, yes, because certain people who are triggered by, I don't know, miscarriage, shouldn't read books that contain no miscarriage but tons of violence. Like, you realize that triggers are subjective from person to person, and the reason that we're specific about triggers is so that if a person can handle a bunch of shit but not one specific thing, they know to read something else that doesn't have that one specific thing. You realize that I'm not like a fragile little glass person. Like, I just don't want to read books that contain miscarriage because I had like a really traumatic one. I can handle a lot of shit. Like, I read books with like cannibalism and eating live animals. I can handle a lot of triggering shit. I just don't want to have a panic attack. So like, I'm sorry that like I don't want to have a panic attack, and I'm sorry that's so bothersome to you. You think that you know best for everybody, which is sounding a little paternalistic. Okay, sorry, rant over. I'm done yelling about men. Chapter 1, the door.
I closed the door. Which door?
I didn't know when I fell in love with Tana, only that I most assuredly was. It might have been the first time she'd laid her soft fingertips on the cool brass of my knob. God damn it, you walked into this room when I started doing the door erotica video. Of all the videos for you to walk in on,
Sorry.
you are on chapter 1, line 1 of me talking about door smut.
Oh, is that why on the toe?
Leave my sex toys alone. Well, this is embarrassing. The day she first toured the apartment I faithfully guarded. So our main character is a door. We're not gonna get POVs from the women. The main character is the door. It's not the main character is a woman who decides to fuck her door. The main character is the door that gets fucked, okay? Just wanna clear that up because I thought it was the other way. It's not. In the 6 months she'd spent safely tucked behind my back at night, she'd never jiggled her key uncomfortably or twisted the knob too hard. When I tell you that you are never gonna look the same at you're gonna feel bad for your door. Do you know what you've put your door through?
Which door?
Once I got carried away by the press of her breasts as she rose up on tiptoe to look through my peephole, her t-shirt whispering against my flat back. Try as I might, I couldn't hold back my deadbolt, which slid free with excitement at the touch of her soft cheek. It's fine, we're not gonna laugh yet. In barely there tank tops and tiny shorts, she pranced around the apartment, doing little dances to music on the radio she vacuumed or worked at her computer job. Her unspecified computer job. This is 70 pages. We do not have time to establish what this woman does for a living. But he says that terrible things lurk around the apartment. Terrible things lurked there only a building away. Shortly before Tana had moved in, I'd watched Tana's overly friendly superintendent. Superintendent? Is that what it's called to be the manager of a building? Is that what super is short for? The superintendent of a building? I thought that was reserved for schools. Man, every day on this channel, y'all learn how unintelligent I am. The overly friendly superintendent Randall vanished one night into the woods behind the complex. Randall didn't vanish. A woman who was with Randall vanished. Okay, just to make that clear. There is a person who I am very specifically picturing as Randall. I'm not going to say who. Just let me do my job.
I'm not even making fun of you.
I can't read. I know, but I can't read this in front of you. I don't like the way Randall's eyes devoured my precious charge when her back was turned. So we're establishing that Randall, the building manager, is yucky and that the door feels that he must protect Tana from Randall. So one day, a police officer shows up. Visitor was an officer, according to the television shows that Tana watched endlessly on weekends. Hey, listen, everybody likes TV, okay, door? Miss Vent, I'm Officer Holden with the... I shifted my focus from the unexpected visitor to Tana. So he's switching back and forth. I don't know what he's looking at with. He's a door. We don't have to get into the lore. It's erotica. It doesn't have to be explained. So the officer explains that they are looking for a missing person who was last seen near this apartment complex because, you know, Randall did it. But the door can't report on this because he's a door. Then one day, a man in robes shows up. And it's Zeus, as in the Greek pantheon Zeus. And he says to the door, Hera told me I must make some amends for my affairs. Personally, I think she's a bit oversensitive. But women, right? You fuck one girl as a weather event, or a bird, or her own husband, and suddenly you're the bad guy. Now, I don't know much about Greek mythology, as we established when I talked about Kate Corain's book, but I am starting to watch overly sarcastic productions at y'all's behest, which I appreciate, and I did learn that Zeus just fucking everybody and everything. So this seems to be more in line with the Zeus of Greek mythology. This door erotica seems to be more in line with the Greek mythology Zeus than this book, which is supposed to be Greek mythology and was going to be published by Del Rey. I just want to point that out to you. So Zeus says to this door, "Hi, you are my son. I accidentally fucked a tree that had some really nice knots in it." I can't believe this is my job. And he's like, "I'm here, I'm giving you the chance to convince your lady love in there to set you free. You're made of solid oak from one of my sacred trees. I'm told that apparently an acorn from my grove across the ocean made it here, grew up into a big strong oak, and was felled to use for, well, this. Congrats, you're at least half dryad. And there's a pretty decent chance you might be my son. A lot of things happen in that grove, and there was this perfectly positioned knothole on this really sexy tree, and the mead was flowing freely." Oh my god, my son is here. Hello, how can I help you? Are you okay? Anyway, tonight, by Hera's grace, you can enter your girl's dreams. Then you'll need to make your case and convince her to do, well, what I did with that knothole. Are we gonna get another novella about the time that Zeus fucked a knothole? The catch is, however, that it needs to happen while you're in this form to set you free. But I have faith in you, son. You've got your old man's charm after all. And I'd seal the deal quickly if I were you. My brother Hades mentioned that skinny twit I've seen lurking around your girl sent a woman to the underworld recently. The stakes are, he wants to turn into a guy. He loves this woman who he's guarding the door of, he's the door of, and he's guarding her apartment. And he doesn't want to see her die the way that Randall, her building super, killed another girl. Randall has his eyes on Tana. What kind of fucking name is Tana Vent, by the way? Is that a thing I need to know about? Is that a thing you guys are gonna have to explain to me again? So he can turn into a human if Tana fucks him while he's a door. And by Hera's grace, he gets to enter her dreams tonight and convince her to fuck him while he's a door. You know, my door handle in my bedroom is not a knob. It's one of those like long ones. What if he had one of those? What was she gonna do? I shudder to think. Okay, so in her dream, she shows up and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I have no name but yours, Tana. I am your faithful guardian and protector. Nothing more, nothing less. I am your door and I love you." And she says, "My door?
Which door?
I don't understand. Is that like a metaphor?" He's like, "No, the door to your apartment." He's like, "I need a favor so I can turn human." She says, "A favor, huh? So what do you want to do? Want me to do? Oil your hinges?" "Yes." In a manner of speaking, the man that offered me this, and by the way, he's in human form in her dream, and he's like, "I could be this if you fuck me in door form," said that we must be together in the way that you are with your shivering blue stick. Now, I don't like that we sort of like, he just feels a little too, like he knows what a television is, but he doesn't know what a vibrator is called. I don't really like the like, almost like, he's too young, he's kind of getting infantilized, which is kind of an ick for me. And she's like, "What do you mean my shivering blue stick? Is my bedroom door watching me too? Are you all freaky pressboard pervs?"
Which door?
Which is, you know, objectively a hilarious line. And he's like, "I am not pressboard. I am made of solid oak, madam. And none of your other doors are like I am. I am your protector." I'm surprised he didn't say that his knob's bigger than the other knobs. And he's like, "By the way, your building supervisor is a creep. He watches you leave and then he uses a key to get into your house. He takes your pink underwear, the ones you've been looking for. He messes with your stuff when you're not home." And Tana's like, "Okay, what do you need me to do?" And he's like, "I need you to polish my knob." Yep. So she wakes up and she's like, "That didn't happen. That's a weird thing. That's a weird dream." So then she leaves, and when she comes home, she realizes that Randall has been in her apartment. And while he was there, he tried to poison her in her orange juice, like put a bunch of sleeping pills in her orange juice and steal her underwear, but he dropped the underwear. So she gets freaked out by this, starts to drink some wine, and he's watching her because he's, you know, her door. And it says, "I couldn't miss the way that her tongue darted out to catch a few slosh drops of wine on her hand. If I hadn't already been made of wood, I'd be stiff as a board at the sight. Thank you for that." And she's like, "You know what? If my landlord has actually been in my apartment, maybe this door did come to me in my dreams last night. Maybe I need to fuck the door. I can't even believe I'm considering this. I've got to be out of my fucking mind." Me too, to have read this. She's like, "But I mean, it can't hurt anything, right? I mean, women fuck cucumbers and bedposts and balloons and shit. This isn't that weird, right?" Turns out the balloon thing is a reference to the author's other book. That's clever. I like that shit. So she's like, "All right, if I'm gonna fuck this door, I'm gonna sanitize it first. Again, always clean your toys." So she, you know, squeezes some stuff on some Lysol, and it says, "Dousing my knob in a mist of cool tingling liquid that made me groan inwardly with pleasure at the sensation, wrapping my round brass protrusion in a soft cloth and in a firm grip, she started polishing my knob. There it is, with slow, smooth strokes that stirred something deep in my wood. Her thumb slipping over my raised lock ridge through the thin barrier of the cloth almost teasingly. I'm never gonna be able to clean my doorknob again the same way. She's like, all right, well, if I'm gonna do something crazy and stupid, I'd rather keep it between us and not bring the ER into things. Which is smart, because apparently it's very common talking to my nurse friends to find out that people are in the ER with stuff all up in them that is not supposed to be there, like fucking light bulbs. What are y'all doing? So she's talking to him. She's like, it feels weird to be talking to you, but I mean, I'd rather you know what's up. I'm taking your cameo in my recurring nightmare as consent, but if I'm wrong, I don't know, like jiggle your frame or something. And he's like, I am not going to jiggle at all. I am not going to move and even give this woman an inkling that I am doing anything other than consenting to this. So then she puts a condom on his knob. And she's like, it's not like I think you're gonna knock me up with like little trapdoors or something. That's just fucking funny. It's just that I only trust Lysol so much, and doorknobs are kind of germ magnets, no offense. I hope that doesn't fuck with the mojo, but I don't want to explain a UTI from this. Which, you know what? Fair. And I appreciate the author is like doing like a service to their audience by not just like being like, all right, let's fuck a nasty doorknob. No, let's clean the thing. Put a condom on. Let's use lube. So how does she reach this thing with her vagina? She pulls the ottoman over from the living room, as she should. Tana's hand enfolded my prominent sphere. Twisting around without engaging the lock. She ran the silky sole of her foot down the edge of my frame as more of the blue length glided into her. Oh, by the way, she's using her vibrator first, which good for her. You know, maybe there's something to this. It's kind of nice calling all the shots. So Tana likes to top. She says, oh God, it's so big. I don't know if I can. She fumbled, patting under her for the still humming vibrator, resting on a shoulder to bring it up to her clit with a groan. Her body relaxed at the additional sensation, knee shifting to press her fully into my knob, giving a startled gasp as it popped. Oh, I'm cringing. Ouch. Fully into her. Oh, holy shit, that's weird. Big too. Nice, but okay. And then she gets into it. She's like, yes. I like doorknob fucking, which like good for you, but I kind of feel like I don't need to be here for this. A lurid wet pop of a sound accompanied our parting, and she rolled onto her back to smile lazily up at me, her voice husky with satisfaction. Well, looks like I'm just kinky. You're still a door. She didn't even give him a minute. Give him a minute, man. She's like, well, sorry, I don't mean to bang and run. Hopefully that was good for you too. I need a shower. And she dips. And he's sad. The door is sad. He says, she treated what we'd done like a joke. Could she not feel me? Didn't my visitor, Zeus, his dad, tell me that all we needed to do was fuck? And then all of a sudden he just shifts into a door, which I feel like this could have been done better, to be honest with you. I widened my fingers in wonder and wiggled my bare toes on the carpet below, raising a brow at the fleshy, though still very thick, tube of flesh that replaced my knob. Yay, the knob is a knob now. The other kind of knob. The doorway around me was entirely empty now. So Tana's in the shower, and then when she comes out of the shower, she sees a grown man, and she's like, get out of here, I will call the cops. Also, where the fuck is my door? Bitch, where do you think? You fucked the door, hoping it would turn into a man. A man is here, and the door is gone. What do you... Think quickly. And she's like, oh, okay. And he's like, man, this is really fleshy. I don't know what the fuck is going on here. This is a lot of skin for me. And then he has to pull the condom off of himself because it's still on him, raising the slick, translucent length up to eye level and squinting at it curiously. If you've never seen a condom and then one is just on you, yeah, that's gotta be fucking weird. So she gives him a pair of pants or a shirt or something that used to belong to her ex. And I appreciate that he's not jealous. I thought that that's where this was gonna go. No, he's just a sweet bean. Door. So she goes to her orange juice and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a mimosa. She's an alcohol girly, which, you know, we like it. And she's like, I'm gonna need like 2 mimosas to get started dealing with this. And he's like, no, not the juice, because her super Randall poisoned it. So they're like, all right, we need to do some shit because Randall, something's up with Randall. We need to get a new door. So they have to order a new door for delivery. Can you get a door delivered to you by the Home Depot? I mean, I guess you probably can now, right? And they're having to like put in the door, and it's funny because like he's talking about how toolkit and tape measure are all like flimsy pink things, and he's like, why should you have to pay more just because it's pink and flimsier? And she's like, wow, what a concept, what a nice guy. And I'm like, Tana, no, you can request more out of any man, even if he used to be a door. The bare minimum is still the bare minimum, even if the guy was once a door.
Which door?
I'd spent so long wishing I could be human for Tana that I wasn't sure what to do now that my wish had been granted. Human life was proving to be confusing and awkward, while being a door had been fairly straightforward. You know what? I feel that. I wish I was a door. So then she's like, wait, what do I call you? And he says, he thinks to himself, yours. Just absolutely smitten. Just absolutely smitten. Anyway, he's like, oh, I don't have a name. You know, humans have names, doors don't. And he's like, I guess you can't call me Door around others. And I'm thinking, well, the logical choice is to name him Dorian. And then she doesn't name him Dorian. She names him Dries. And I'm like, wait, but Dorian was right there. Dorian. Come on, it's clever. Randall, her super, is like, hey, do you need this package delivered? And she's like, no, I have got it. He's like, oh, I'm good with delivering big packages. And unfortunately, this is true to like so many men. Like Randall could be one of a million guys out there. But in fact, he's probably based on a true person. And they're like, you know what? Randall deserves to die. Not because of the big packages comment, because he's a murderer. But they don't trust the police to do anything about it, so they don't just call the cops. Which, you know what? That's fair. And what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, well, Dries, who has no ID and can't prove that he's a human and not a door, saw Randall lead a woman into the woods. It's not like he can say anything on trial. He's a fucking door. So anyway, they go to the store, he steals a kiss, and he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I feel like her personality kind of changes all of a sudden, which is part of why I didn't like rate this higher. She goes, Dries, I think you're allowed to steal a kiss, sweetheart. I kind of buried your knob in my pussy like a few hours ago. And then he talks again kind of like a child, which is another reason I didn't rate this higher. He says, we should go get you some ice cream because your bad days are coming soon. You'll have them soon, the same as you did last month. The ones where you wear softer clothing and watch sad movies and go to the bathroom a lot and sometimes cry. I don't like to see you sad and you seem better when you have ice cream. Which, like, it's silly, but also it just kind of feels, I don't know, it just makes him seem so young, and that just kind of gives me the creeps. And so when they get home, she says to him, you've done so much. You were a very good door. I hope you know that. And it says, something about being called a good door made my human legs feel weak and shaky. I nodded before continuing to the bedroom, grateful my new jeans and boxer briefs were better at concealing my arousal than my sweatpants had been. So he likes being called a good door. Good for him. She's like, the look on your face when I told you you were a good door for me. I'm gonna tell you a secret, Dries. I have a weakness for big, strong men who do as they're told, good boys who enjoy working for my praise. And he's like, I like being called baby and a good boy more than anything, except for this hand job she's currently giving him. That's his favorite thing right now. So anyway, she gives him a handy, calling him a good boy. Good for them. I'm surprised that instead of moaning, he doesn't like make a squeaky hinge noise. That would have been funny. Randall shows up at the apartment and he's like, you know, evil and scary bad guy. And he says, if Sarah had just listened to me, I was a good guy. I told her that, but I was so much better than her than Charlie had been. But no, she wanted to be friends after laying all that emotional baggage on me. I'm not a fucking therapist. I can literally name a man who I know who is like this. Randall has a gun. They all get into a fight. Dries, the doorman, gets shot. Randall gets wounded, and I assumed he was dead, but by the end he's not. And Dries turns back into a door. Some time passes. He's not really sure what's happening. He was shot. He had a bullet hole in him. And then all of a sudden he hears Tana talking to him. Dries, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not even sure if you were in a fever dream, but I can't let you go. I made them bring you back to me after the investigation, after Randall was arrested and stuff. Tana gave a sad laugh, fingertips tracing where the hole had been. I got some wood putty. I don't know exactly how to fix mortal wounds on a man that turned into a door on me, but I think I did a decent job. Aww. And then all of a sudden something soft and slippery stretched over me with a shock, and I discovered that Tana was stretching another barrier, a condom, over my knob. I was resting flat against the carpet, and Tana was wearing little more than a suggestion of lace that skimmed her curves and showed everything. So they are on the floor. He's knob up, and I'm just wondering, so is the front knob gone? So he's not like tilted up? Is he just flat with like the one knob? Anyway, I'm just wondering about the knob logistics. I was wrecked, Dries. I wanted you to come back. I needed you back. Even though I knew Randall was in jail, I kept having these nightmares about being buried in the woods, and I prayed. I didn't even know who I was praying to, but to be honest with you, but I didn't care if they could bring you back to me. And one night, someone finally answered. This beautiful Greek woman. She reached down and she pulled me out of the leaves, and she told me it was going to be all right. We walked right out of the nightmare, and she listened to me talk about you, and she said some disparaging things about her husband being an idiot and told me how I could get you back. Tana slowly and carefully sank down on my knob for the second time, gasping as it finally slid in fully. Oh, every time I cringed, it just, ow. I couldn't help but thrust back up my rigid body, so he automatically turns back into a man. She let out a little cry of alarm as my body bowed and grew beneath her, my wide, short knob, lengthening into something between my door self and my human self inside of her. So is it like a brass dick? Causing both of us to groan, she threw her arms around me as around my neck as her thighs slid to either side of my naked human lap. Dries, it's you, it worked. Thank you, Hera. And then it says he buried his cock to the hilt inside of her, which I am asking all of you authors to find a synonym pseudonym immediately. Stop saying to the hilt. I've had enough. So it was actually several months later. He was shot. He was kept in evidence, and then he was finally returned to her. And Hera had explained to her that she's going to have to repeat this process when he transforms back into a door and bring him back with my magic pussy. So it also turns out that Zeus came and dropped off an entire thing of like records for him. So now he has a driver's license, and he is a Greek immigrant, and he has a birth certificate from Greece, and also dropped off a bunch of money and a business card for an antiques dealer with like a old antique coin in it, like a Greek coin, and a note that says, "Tell him dad sent you and take care of that beautiful girl." And the end says that Tana demands another kiss, and he says, "I really liked it when she bossed me around." The end. So that was the door erotica, in case you were curious. It's actually quite funny. It's very self-aware, and I think that this author did a pretty good job on it. I mean, there were a couple lines that I was like, that's an incredible amount of typos, or not typos, but like wonky verbiage and typos. And they actually happened like in succession. So it seems like just like one part of it was written kind of wonky. But other than that, it's erotica. It's not that badly written. It at least had a plot that made sense. It was way better than I was anticipating it being. 2.5 stars. I love to see the aftercare, a woman topping, use of a vibrator, and use of like cleaning sex toys and using lube. Like, I'm actually quite proud of this book. So that was The Door Erotica. Let me know if you read it and what your thoughts were on it. Let me know if you read it and you are a Greek mythology girly and if this lines up. Okay? Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Alright, I am here to say thank you for being a friend to my Therapy Bills patrons, and those are Alexander, Cami, Chris, Christine and Bean, DJ Rocktopus, Ellie, Aaron with 2 E's, Eric, JC Murphy, Jack, Jesse, Jill, John E, Julie D, Kellano K, Casey McKenzie, Kate W, Caitlin M, Quinn, Lady Kittybug, Lemon Jelly, Lex, Mixer Boneless, Night Owl Reader, Alice, Rachel C, Rain, Reese, SJ, Samar, Scarlett, Shadow Auntie, hi Peggy, Shiny, SMK, Steph Bowen, 2 Orbit, Chai Guy, and The Salem T. Lynn. Thank you all so much for being a friend and being patient as I created this. I appreciate y'all. Thank you again. Okay, bye. And before I go to say thank you for being a friend to my Potato Search Marxist patrons, and those are Alicia, Amanda, Andy, Angelica, Angry Otter, Anita, Artie the Ninth, Ashley H, Ava, Ballads and Bookends, Beck Lowe, Blake Lemon Pants, Blythe, Bookish Bats, Bookish Brainrot, Bree, Caitlin, Cardinal Ginger, Carlin, Casper, Catherine, Kathy, Chris, CJ, Clementine, Cole, Colleen, Corwin, Danielle, Darren, Deborah, Diet Goth, Dorothea, Ebby, Ember, Emerald Dodge, Emily A, Emily L, Emma, Aaron, Ezra Moon, Fiona, Hannah C, Harpy Kuro, Haley G, Ilianaka, India Inks, JM Tennant, Jay is on Olympus, Jelly V, Jen Michelle, Gender Queer, Jenny G, Jillian R, Jojo Bookish, Just Pugsley, Kat, Catherine, Katie L, Kayala, Kendra, Kiara, Kylie, Laughing Cat Dog, Laura G, Lauren G, Lazarus Ray, Library of Scars, Lisa B, Lisa L, LP, Lou Siri, Lustful Octopus, MK Martin, MV Marlowe, Madison, Man Eating Plant, Marcella, Marquita, Malara, MK Books, Molly, James, Nat, Natalie M, Never, Nicole G, Nicole R, Nyan Binary, Paige P, Penny Chilling, Foxglove, Rachel B, Reba, Rebecca, Rivi D, Rosie, Rowan, Secoria, Sadie, Samantha M, Samantha O, Sarah C, Sarah H, Sarah the Bear, Sarah Z, Shamed, Shannon, Sheen Onion, Sean, T. Delegati, Talia, 3 Old Dogs, Tina H, Toast, Trash Can Teddy, Tito Phoenix, Wiki Cherry, and Writer A. Thank you all so much for being a friend.